Chapter 5, Making an Offer. Hello. Today's video is an exciting one. You're nearly ready. You've chosen the right house and now you want to make it yours. In order to make it happen smoothly, we've put together a few points to check off before you sign on the dotted line. So let's get started. Firstly, contact your broker early. They can get things moving with the bank in terms of your mortgage and can also help you to gather your deposit and check your KiwiSaver. Squirrel and the bank will need to review the property files up front, so grab them from the agent. The main file we're after is the sale and purchase agreement. Next, it's time to make an offer. There are two kinds of offers, conditional and unconditional. The main difference with making an offer is whether the property is being sold by auction or not. An auction always means an unconditional offer. This means that all due diligence and checks must be completed upfront before the auction. A deposit is payable if you're successful, but it's important to note that you can lose your deposit and be charged penalty interest if you cannot fulfill the contract. You'll need the sale and purchase agreement at least 5 working days before the auction. It's a good idea to get a lawyer to review all the property files and inform you and your Squirrel advisor of any concerns. We can recommend a lawyer if needed. More about lawyers later. You'll need to contact an insurance provider for a quote to confirm that full replacement value insurance can be provided with no maximum cap or exclusions. If you like, we can organize Tower Insurance to contact you directly. What reports do you need before the auction? A limb report is handy to confirm consents are in order. A limb report is prepared by the council and is based on their property records. It will tell you whether or not the property has the right consents and a code of compliance. You'll have to order a limb report from your council, which will cost between $250 to $450. It often takes them up to 10 working days to get it to you, so order it as soon as you sign the sale and purchase agreement. If you're up for some heavy documentation, you can potentially check out the council's property file yourself. You also might want to get a builder's report. This is at your own discretion. The bank won't need one unless the property has monolithic cladding for any other highlighted concerns. If you're unsure about cladding, check out our previous video on types of properties in this series. If you've got a qualified friend or family member you trust, get them to give you an informal report and save some cash. But any plaster homes should have a full report completed. We also recommend not relying on a report provided by the vendor. What about a registered valuation? Discuss getting a valuation with your advisor on a case-by-case basis. We can organize and order it for you. It takes between 6 to 8 working days to complete. But be ready to fork out some cash for these reports. A valuation can cost anywhere between $600 to $1,000, and a building inspection can run anywhere from $250 for a verbal report to $650 for a written report. Even though it's an auction, you still have some wiggle room. The agent can prepare a variation to the agreement to amend either the deposit amount and/or the settlement date. It's common to make the deposit 5%, what you have available in cash only. KiwiSaver doesn't count. The deposit is payable within 3 working days if you're successful at the auction. Settlement must be at least 3 to 4 weeks after the unconditional date to provide enough time for the banks and us to finalize everything. Okay, that's the unconditional offer covered. The second type of offer is a conditional offer. This basically means anything but an auction. A conditional offer gives you the time to have your offer accepted subject to everything checking out. A condition including your finance being approved after 10 to 15 working days is common if a property valuation is required. Your advisor will recommend an acceptable time frame. The above checks will still apply, but you'll only get started once your offer has been accepted. Choosing a lawyer and signing contracts. Unfortunately, your lawyer is a necessary evil in the house buying process. You'll find there's a huge difference in quality of service, advice, and cost between lawyers. So it's really a question of what you need and want. If personal service is important, then pay extra and go to a reputable law firm. There are also a number of low-cost transactional services available which work great if you're an old hand and don't need lots of advice or reassurance. Your lawyer will confirm with you that you'd like to go unconditional with the vendor. They'll check the title of the property, they'll run through the mortgage documents with you, and they'll settle the funds. If you're out of town or overseas, they'll courier the mortgage documents to you. You'll need to sign them in front of a justice of the peace or a public notary. For non-residents, you don't need to come to New Zealand to buy property. Just allow enough time for us to send the paperwork back and forth. So that gives you an idea of the process that will happen once you've found a property you love. And as always, your Squirrel advisor will be right there with you all the way. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.